Gathering requirements is the foundation of building a successful product. You get this wrong, and your product might just miss the mark. So now, how do you gather requirement properly? The first step is to identify your stakeholders. You need to identify who you are building for and who is going to benefit from your product. The second step is to engage your stakeholders. Once you've identified your stakeholders, you can now engage them, schedule different interview review sessions to actually understand their pain points and how your product can solve for them. After this session, I'm sure you should have the answer as to how to proceed with your product and how to solve the problem. Thirdly, is to understand the problem. Deep dive into the problem to understand what really is the problem, what's the root cause of the problem, are people already solving this problem in the industry, and how are they solving it? With this, you're able to get more clarity. Once you've gathered all these things, the third step is to convert them into user stories. And a typical user story can be, as a user, I want to be able to do this so that I can do this. Basically, stating how that particular feature or the list of features should be able to actually solve a problem for your user. Once you've done this, you can then prioritize your requirements. There are different prioritization metrics you can use, like Moscow and the likes, right? So basically, you prioritize the user story based on your understanding of what your user needs first. The next step is to actually validate your documents and everything that you've documented so far. So basically, you're sharing with these different stakeholders, you're creating prototypes, you're simulating to see if this particular feature or your user stories or your requirements even solves the problem. Once you review this with the stakeholders or the customers or a focus group, you are able to then tell if there are other loopholes that you need to address or what you actually spec for solves a user problem. Once you've been able to validate or get to this stage, I'm very sure that you'll be able to identify if you're literally solving a real problem or not, and your requirements are very clear. Note, product is ever evolving and your requirements is also ever evolving. So always engage your customers at every point in time, just to revalidate the requirements and be sure that you're building something that's actually solving actual problem. Out of these steps that I've mentioned, one very important step that you shouldn't miss is engaging your stakeholders. Like, the mistake we make is just always thinking that we're building for ourselves. Ensure you engage your stakeholders to understand the pain points. Again, ensure you engage your stakeholders. I end this by saying ensure that you actually gather proper requirements and ensure that you're engaging your stakeholders, because you don't want your product to be something that people will not use or is not solving a problem in its entirety. Remember that good requirements lead to great products, so don't miss that out. Did you like this video or you want us to share more insights? Feel free to drop a comment below, and don't forget to share and repost. This might help someone within your network. And like we always say, keep upping your PM game.